Hey, I'm Colin, and this is my 2023 Tesla Model Y. Last spring, I installed a sunshade in it from a company called Reva that I just randomly found online. More recently, I installed mud flaps and tested out lifting jack pads from the same company after they reached out to me offering to send a couple more of their products. They saw my sunshade video, liked how I presented things, I guess, and asked would I like to review some more. I said I'm not really a product reviewer, but sure, send them as long as I can be completely honest, say whatever I want, and I can't give you a timeline. They were fine with those conditions. So I installed these mud flaps and I'm really liking them so far. I've taken them on one long trip. Check out the video that I posted on those. They definitely have some distinct advantages over the ones that I had installed before. And also their jacking pads had some little features that showed that they put some good thought into how they designed their products. So the two additional things that I have to test today are a cabin air filter and underseat storage box organizer. I'm going to open these up, I'm going to install them, I'm going to give you my honest impressions of them. So let's get into it. Here's one of my helpers. Fortunately, getting off the garage door. Maybe he's remembering what happens when the human doesn't know he's up there and the garage door closes. But he's coming to help. Oh wow. Oh wow. Hey bud. Thanks. Okay, so let's start with this air filter. It's actually two air filters that are needed in the cabin of these Teslas. I've got a full set of instructions that shows how to do it. I won't take the time to go through all of those, but I'll review these and then I'll see you in the car. We'll actually install them. Well, the hardest part about this is figuring out how myself and the camera can be in the same place at the same time so I can show this to you. I do have some light here to help out and I'll do my best. First thing I did was turn off the air conditioning. That's done. And the next thing is to figure out whether or not I've got this panel. I guess some cars don't have it and some do. Basically, this panel has clips on it. These are the same types of clips that are used on the mud flaps and all over the car. But those need to be removed in order to access this panel. Now, some people actually say you don't have to. Some people are able to get this panel out without removing this. But for the purposes of this video, and since it's my first time, I'm going to pull it out. And that's where the little blue clip puller that came with the kit helps out. This is the clip puller that comes with the kit. And this is a security style Torx bit lever. And what I'm actually going to use first is this flathead screwdriver that came with the mud flaps, because these have the same clips that the mud flaps had holding them on, and they just need to be pulled straight down and then they can be pulled. Oh, well, that one broke. Good thing I have some extras from the mud flap kit. Can't blame Reva for that. Maybe I can blame myself. But yeah, like I said, these just need to be pulled down and then the whole clip should come out of the car rather than just that head. So far I'm having bad luck. No, I'm sorry, these aren't broken. I'm just being, I forgot how these work. So these actually do come all the way out. That's not broken. Now that they're out, these clips can be pulled out, hence the clip puller. Put these around the base of these things and now they pop out. Okay, I think that's it. So now hopefully this panel will just come down. Yeah, and it's got a couple of electrical connections. And I'm going to try to not take them apart. The instructions say go ahead and pull them apart, but I think I can just set it off to the side here. So I'm going to reach back here all the way around it and just find the first clip that I can feel. There we go. There's one on the bottom. You know what? I'm going to get a trim puller. This is a trim puller. There's all different kinds. This one came with some other part that I bought at some point, and you just slide it underneath, and ideally it helps you pull trim away, although this one's a little bit stubborn. So let me get in there and figure out what's going on. Maybe I can pull it down on the top first. There we go. I think with my hand behind it and using the trim puller together. Come on. Wow, this is definitely harder than I was expecting. People were making it sound like this popped right off. Not my experience so far. Here's another trim puller that's a little bit different shape, a little bit heavier duty. Definitely wasn't expecting to need this. I feel like I'm doing something wrong here. There it is. Once you pull it out a little ways, you can actually reach all the way behind it, and then you can feel right right where the clip is, but that doesn't help you. These things are tight. I've taken apart a lot of cars and never had one quite like this. Wow. Oh my gosh, 2 arms? Wow. Oh my gosh. Jeez, Tesla. Can't wait to see the style here. This is incredible. Wow. Like I say, I've taken apart a lot of cars and never have I ever fought with clips that hard. And you can see that 3 of them just straight up broke. These should be sitting on top of these. Okay, slightly less angry now that I found that the clips actually remained in their slots. I went looking around in the bottom recesses of the car here to pull out the broken pieces because I didn't want to listen to them rattle around. Couldn't find anything, and that's where I found these 3 are here. So the only piece that broke off was actually just the side of this one. I think this will still function, but yeah, not as bad as I thought initially. Anyway, let's get on to the cabin air filter. It's behind this cover right there. So that has a screw on it that uses one of the screw drivers, or rather this lever that comes with the kit. There we go. So I'm going to reach up and pull on this tab. Nope. How about this one? Yeah. No, I had it right the first time. Pulling that tab. This is going to slide out. There's number 1. We'll try not to get any dirt that may be on it into the car. Second one is actually underneath it. So lift up on this tab, pull it out, just like the instructions show. You can see these have 2 sides to them. This side with sort of the honeycomb is supposed to face towards you, and this faces towards the front of the car. So here's the first one. There we go. First one goes in and slides down. Wow, it's a really snug fit. Let me show you why. So here's a comparison of the new ones. They have some foam. The originals feel almost like some felt, very similar material, and I think they do the same thing. But this is just basically pleats on both sides. These ones, I'm not sure if they're activated carbon or what, but you can hear something shake. Well, there you can see them, little tiny beads. If you have the light just right, you can see how they're captured in that honeycomb. Little beads of carbon. Cool. So we'll keep on installing. This strap goes up so that it can be removed later. Of course, it's more important that the bottom one is set up that way. There we go. One sits on top of the other. Beautiful. Okay, so next thing is the cover. Got to hook this end of the cover on the top, and I'm going to try to push this loop up at the same time so that it's not hanging down. Okay, there, that's pretty easy without actually even being able to see the area that it hooked onto. It just found its home and drive the screw back in. I'm not going to make you watch as I put this back in. Here's that trim panel, and the clips go on these things. They just snap down to basically hold them in place till they go into the slots in the car. I only have 3 of these that I recovered, and I promise there's no more in the car, so I had to look around. It turns out this one has the evidence on it. This one shows that there was never a clip on it, whereas ones like this show clear evidence by how they're kind of scratched up that there was something on there. So apparently this one in the corner wasn't used. That's the last one I thought they would skip, but I'll just put them back where they were. And then the other thing that's kind of disappointing is this carpet is just coming off of the panel down here. And so this is completely unnecessary, but I have some rubber cement. And if you don't remember from elementary school, which might be the last time a lot of us used rubber cement, you want to get it on both sides. They both tack, and then you touch them together, and that's that. Well, this is kind of cool. With the cover off, you can see parts of the HVAC system work. So I'm going to turn on the air, and I'll turn it off. Neat. Putting that panel back together was lots easier than pulling it out. Literally just line up those clips and push it in. Nothing really to it. Kind of like these electrical connections that I'm redoing. And then this little tab goes into the slot here. Hopefully you can see that. Don't know if you can. Put that in there and then push it up. So now I can put back in these push lock tab, I don't know what they're called, fasteners. Just stick it in, grab one of these, stick it in, push it all in all the way. Well, Tesla recommends you change the cabin air filter about every 30,000 miles or 2 years. I'm at 32,000, so pretty close. Once you do it, you'll want to go over into the service menu and tap on maintenance, and then enter in here that you actually did the replacement. And I'll hit confirm. So now that'll be part of the permanent record of the car for my own reminder and for the next owner. Pretty nice. Well, I'm heading over to the car wash because there's nothing like filming a part of the inside of your car and putting it on the internet to make you realize you need a dang car wash. I'll be back after I clean this thing out and we'll put those drawer organizers in. I tend to notice and fixate on small details, almost to a fault. And so the first thing I noticed in the instructions here was this rounded side of the bin in this picture here, and that's this rounded side here versus the recessed seam over there. So I saw that rounded part pictured at the front of the seat here, but then also pictured at the rear of the seat here, and I thought, well, that can't be, there must be some inconsistency in the instructions. Unfortunately, that sort of thing is really common. But no, I was completely missing the big picture. It actually shows, well, one of the coolest features of these bins. Let me show you. Here's the first bin with its cover, and it just slides right in the front, underneath the seat, sits down on the carpet, and aligns perfectly with this bulkhead that the seat is mounted on. And you can slide the seat forward, no problem. Let me show you where the other one goes. And here's where that second bin can fit. Still aligned with these bulkheads, accessible from the rear, but critically not sitting down on the carpet. Instead, it is suspended from these rails on the side, giving space for air to flow out of this vent that's underneath the front seats. Really well designed. And further, once it's in place, you can just barely see it, but there is a little, I guess that's a seatbelt mount, and other parts underneath the seat that need to be able to move back and forth. In order to prevent that cable bundle from potentially snagging the rear bin as you move rearward, there's a potential fix, I think. And this isn't in the instructions, but it should be really easy to do. You have to get underneath the seat, and you see this bungee, which is holding the fabric tight on the back of the seat. Well, it's clipped to a part of the spring right here. If you just push it forward, you can unclip it, then put the bundle up and reclip onto the spring underneath the seat, using no extra parts, no extra changes. It still holds the seat in place, holds the cable up just a little bit. Now let's test it. And here's the seat coming back. Perfect. Further, there are these pieces of felt that can be attached to either side of the bins, like it shows here in the instructions. And these are going to apply a little bit of pressure outward towards the carpet that should hold these in place a little bit better. So you just peel off the back and stick them somewhere here in the middle. So I'm going to go test this now and make sure it really works. Yep, perfect fit. Up here too. You can move it quite a ways forward and still be able to reach in there, but if you want to be able to get in and out of these bins all the time, you probably don't want to leave these covers on there. They're nice to have, but they don't really add that much storage. So like I say, if you want to get in here often without having to pull it forward, leave the cover off. Otherwise, you can always have the cover, pull them forward. It's a nice resistance, but it's not stuck. It's not Velcroed to the carpet. And at that point, you can lift this up, take it off. So that's an option as well. Lots of options with these. Well, it's been about 5 days since installing the new cabin air filters, and I gotta say, it smells nice and fresh in here. I was definitely getting a bit of stink when I would turn on the air conditioner or after the car had sat for a few days, so it's nice to be rid of that. Also nice to have the new cubbies underneath the passenger seat. I was thinking to myself, I actually could have up to 4 total bins by putting 2 under the driver's seat and 2 under the passenger seat. And that's in addition to all the little nooks and crannies that these Teslas come with from the factory. Definitely gives a lot of options for places to put your stuff. So I hope this was helpful to anyone still watching. If it was, hit that like button, really helps me out. And if you're interested in the REEVAA products and you found them compelling like I did, well, check them out too. There's some links down below in the description. And that actually reminds me, it's getting sunny out. It's almost time to reinstall my REEVAA Sunshade. So I'm looking forward to doing that as well. But most of all, thanks a lot for watching.